welcome to Cedar Hill Country Market. Today we're going to be fulfilling some orders for some tote bags. So I'm going to be, all of our products are handcrafted and they're not, they're not mass produced. So when you order from us, you're going to get a handcrafted, very homemade product. But something that you could absolutely be proud to hold on to show off, or to wear. So let's talk a little bit about the fabrics that we use for tote bags. We typically use 11 to 12 ounces of denim or canvas. And this is the denim. And this is the off-white, or what I like to call natural cotton, for our tote bags. Most of our tote bags that are ordered are all personalized. So we're gonna do the embroidery of the name, and it's gonna be a very personalized gift. So we also use a black denim. I don't have any today, but you can Google black denim. I do blacks. I even have done some red canvas. So this heavy type of fabric comes in a variety of colors. And we can get them even though we may not have them listed on our website. All you need to do is make a note when you're placing your order at the bottom. You just need to say that you would like a specific color of denim, and we can get that for you. That's not an issue. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the tote bag, and denim comes in a very much wider piece of fabric than your regular, going to the fabric store. A really thin piece of cotton on average is, between 38 and 42 inches in width. This is quite large. It's going to be anywhere from 80 to 108 inches wide. So we try very hard to not waste any of our fabrics, and we use them in every capacity. Whatever scraps we have done from a project, then it'll go into a scrap bin, and we make quilts and use them for applique and all types of projects. So we're truly, as much as we can, we're a waste-free company. So let's get started with cutting out the tote bag. I'm going to be cutting this tote bag out. It's going to be about 16 inches wide. We're going to be doing a French hem on the side so that you can't see any of the stitching. And I like to do mine with using the bottom as the fold here, so I don't have to stitch out a bottom. There's no chance of it coming unstitched and having all of your stuff on the inside of the tote bag fall out. And it really gives, the denim really gives a nice distressed look as it ages. You can wash these with no problems. I like to wash my tote bags and give them a light press just so they look really nice. But you don't necessarily have to wash them if you don't get them dirty all the time. I have spilled coffee on mine. I've thrown it in the wash on a hand wash, and I've just set it out to dry, and then I've just done a very light steam press over it, and it's turned out beautiful. So no issues there. Our tote bags are not Scotch guarded, so if you would like to have yours weatherproofed or waterproofed in any way, you can certainly spray them with a Scotch guard. We don't do that just because we're putting chemicals, and we sell to such a wide variety of people. We don't want to have any irritants, for our clients to be worried about. So, okay, so let's get started with cutting. I've got this on the edge over here. I know you can't see very well, but it's on the edge. It really doesn't have much of a salvage, and this is all going to be hidden on the side, so it's not going to be shown at all on the tote bag. So I'm really not going to worry about any of this trimming down the edges. If you're a traditional seamstress and you're watching this video, you always want to trim your salvages. But with denim, with this particular project, I know it's just unnecessary waste. So I won't be doing that today. So I'm going to come over here to my 16-inch mark, and I'm going to be cutting it just straight down the line here. If somebody asked me for an oversized version of this tote, I just increase it between 1 to 2 inches depending on what they want. Some people like the bigger bags, but it doesn't really matter, whichever. the ones that we have on the website, unless you're asking us to make a custom bag, are going to be this size. They're going to be a round, a finished 15 inches wide, and a finished 16 to 17 inches in length. So that's what we kind of go on. All right, so let's make sure all of our fabric is straight so we don't have any crooked cuts. I'm going to go a little bit out so that if I go crooked at any point, it's easy to correct. You can always take off more. You can't put it back. So that's a really good rule to live by. Okay. And make sure you're using a very sharp blade with denim, by the way, because if you don't, you're going to be spending a lot of time pulling on your fabric, and it's not going to make a really, you know, nice tote bag. And you want to, when you're cutting 2 rows or 2 layers of fabric, excuse me, it's very important to press really hard as you're going down. I've got little rubber skids on this ruler, so it's kind of easy to, you know, to push it out. Okay, I did a fairly good job of doing a straight line, and then I'm gonna, because this is wider, I'm gonna have to pull it up and finish it off. We know we can always take off more, so I'd rather have more actually, and then straighten up all of my edges. And I have a pretty small cutting space because my shop is not huge at this point, and so I'm working with a small area, just like a lot of the home seamstress, you know. All right, get this out of the way, and then we'll go through and make sure that all of our seams are good and straight. Seems to be pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to need about 16 to 17 high, and I need to allow for the top to be folded over because I do a lot of finishing, custom finishing. I do a lot on the serger with this particular bag, and you're going to have no raw edges with our products, so it's not going to, you know, fall apart in the first week you have it. So, all right, and again, this is the salvage. I'm not going to trim it off because it's going to be part of what we don't use on the body of the tote bag. So, okay. Pardon the noise of my computer. All right, so I'm gonna go probably, you're not gonna be able to see all these measurements, so I'm gonna eyeball it. Okay, I think I'm comfortable with the bag being like that. Alright, and then we can make pockets or straps or whatever out of this, so nothing goes to waste. Alright, alright, so now what we're going to do is we've got our tote bag trimmed out. I'm going to go shut off my computer. Okay, after we cut out our fabric, we notice there's some factory creases in the denim that we really want to get out. See how this has bent up on the edges? We really want to take that out so that we're working with very pressed fabric. So what I like to do is open up the fabric. Your right side, wrong side, it doesn't matter. Denim can take pretty hot heat without an issue. You just don't want to leave your iron on it. I have an iTouch iron, but anybody that has a standard iron, you don't want to just leave it on there, obviously, if you're new at ironing. But you just want to really make sure and get all of your factory creases out of it. These little threads won't matter because we're going to dust this off once we're finished making the tote. And you just really want to get a really good steam and a press on the, so you're working with really good fibers. Okay. Get this pressed all the way out. Now your crease that goes across the bottom, you can go ahead and leave that. It might be easier to work with. I'm not going to work around that one, but you can see if the camera's picking it up, there's one here. So you just really want to press all those out. I make pillows out of denim. I make so many things out of denim. And lots of people use denim, all kinds of colors for different home decor products and decorating. Denim is just super durable. It lasts forever. And the older it gets, the prettier it is, in my opinion. All right, we're done pressing. And now we're going to go and pick our fabric that's going to have our name across the personalization. We're going to pick a fabric, and this, I have to go by what this particular person ordered, and she wants her background behind her name to be the John Deere tractor fabric, and I do have some of that, so I'm going to go ahead and get that cut. So we'll move over to the cutting table, or move back to the cutting table. Okay, we've got our John Deere fabric, and we've got it laid out here, and we're going to cut 6.5 inches is what we're going to have as our personalization section, because we're going to embroidery the person's name, and they're going to be the letters are going to be between 4 and 5 inches tall, so we're going to need at least 6.5 to make that coverage possible. You know, one of the things you hate about ordering online is you never know the sizes of things, the way they look in the picture compared to what you're going to get. And we oversize things here. We don't make them very small and tiny so you can't see them. Again, 6.5 inches all the way across. And then this fabric is folded, so we're going to need to, you know, take care of this end right here. So I'm going to cut off of the salvage on this particular one because it's printed and we don't really want the salvage to be able to be seen. So we're going to trim that piece off, and as you can see, it's just not a lot of waste. Okay, and we know our bag is approximately let's see, I can't remember now what we said the width of our bag is. So that's easy. All we have to do is bring our denim over here. 16 inches wide, so we're going to trim a 16-inch piece. So we're going to make sure that our fabric is straight. We're going to go to the 16 mark here, and we're just going to trim it. And then this piece we'll just put in our scrap bag for applique or something like that. All right. Now, we did cut 2 pieces, but since we get a lot of requests for the John Deere tote bags, I know I'm going to be using this soon, if not at some point. So go ahead and set that one piece aside. Now, we put interfacing behind all of our embroidery just because it holds up really well. It makes the stitches look very professional. And so I'm going to cut a piece of interfacing, and I'll iron that interfacing on the back side of this fabric because it's super thin fabric. It's super thin cotton, and you have to really stabilize this fabric for it not to pucker after a wash and that type of thing. So we're going to cut our interfacing to be 16 by 6.5. to cover the back of this. And then we'll get it ready, we'll hoop it and get it ready for the embroidery part. Interfacing, and if the camera picks up on this side is really shiny, that's what we're gonna iron on, because this is gonna stick to that fabric. I'm gonna make this a little less, I'm gonna make it a 6 by 16 so that I can fold over the edges at the top so you don't see the edge, the raw edge of the fabric. That's very important, that you wanna leave a little bit. So, and this has been rolled up so it's curling on me, but I think I've got it pretty stable. Okay, so let's go iron. We're going to take our stabilizer, and you always want to do the shiny side. I don't know if you can pick up that on camera, but it's shiny on one side and dull on the other side. You could use two-sided if you wanted to, but it's totally up to you. It's not, you know, a mandatory thing. Okay, and see if we flip it over how we have a little bit of edge. So I'm going to try to get enough on each side so that I can fold it over. And just roll her out of the way. And it's just a really thin edge. In fact, if you wanted, you could trim a little bit. Maybe we'll trim a little bit more so that just trim a little bit more off of it so that we get a really good fold on each side of the fabric. Very little waste there. Okay, and that gives us enough room to put the name. Yeah, see, that gives you plenty of room to fold over your fabric and make really pretty clean edges. Now we're going to do some embellishment, so it's not, you know, it'll be a little bit, it won't just be a folded line at the top of the tote bag. I'll show you that when we get to it. Okay, so let's get this pressed and then get our hoops ready to get our embroidery ready to go.